Mary Jo, could you please call the roll?
Tony DeMarco,
Here.
Ron Van Kirk,
Here.
Kathy Pucci,
Here.
Mary Belbeer,
Here.
Kevin Tansky,
Here.
Andy Selhertz,
Here.
Katie Gallagher.
Here.
Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Gallagher is feeling a little bit under the weather tonight, so she asked me to pinch hit for this evening. First thing on the agenda is we have approval of minutes from August 25th. Need a
Move
motion
to
for-
approve.
Second.
To approve, Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Abstain.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening. Council held our first budget work session on November 11th at 6 p.m. We discussed various topics including budget stabilization, economic development, this year's capital expenditures, and street repairs for 2015. City Council will meet again next Thursday, December 4th at 6:30 p.m. to discuss or to continue discussing budget discussions. Our meeting will be held in the City Hall conference room and all are welcome to attend. Tonight we have several new items on the agenda, including a liquor permit renewal for Sheetz Gas Station, a confirmation of Mr. Craig Farkas to the Zoning Board of Appeals, a request to advertise for bids for the City Hall ADA ramp, and a request to advertise for the 2015 street repairs. At this point, the city plans on doing street repairs to Brook Hill Circle, Century Circle, Deborah Lynn, Fairway Drive, Forest Edge Drive north of Bidoff, Glen Daniel Circle, Manoa Avenue, Micah Drive, Newberry Drive, Rockland Drive, Shady Lane, and Southwood Drive south of I-480. The total estimated cost is $1,282,960, and that is for the year 2015. We also have a resolution to enter into a contract with the Cuyahoga County District Board of Health for 2015. This is an annual contract where the Board of Health provides all necessary medical, nursing, sanitary, laboratory, and other health services required by state law. The total cost this year is $43,782, which remains the same cost from this past year. Ordinance 2040-70 is to accept the proposal of Medical Mutual of Ohio to renew the medical insurance coverage for employees for the period of December 1st, 2014 to November 30th, 2014. The city saw a 17.5% increase in our cost from the 2014 rate. However, our insurance broker, Todd & Associates, negotiated this rate down to 4.67% increase for a total cost of $1,668,237.36 for the upcoming year. The last item on the agenda is for the city to enter into a final settlement agreement and release for the case known as Michael Paul Whitesacker versus the City of Brooklyn. This case is out of the United States District Court, Northern District of Ohio, Eastern Division, case number 114, CV 1690. City Council will meet in executive session tonight to discuss labor negotiations and other legal matters. We will reconvene and vote on the last two items on the agenda. After that, no other action will be taken. As a note, City Hall offices will be closed this Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. We will now proceed with our council meeting. At this time, we will have the public session. If anyone in the audience has anything to say for the good and well for the City of Brooklyn, please step forward, state your name, address, including your city, and you will be recognized. Please remember to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victor Ardito, 7439 Outlook Avenue, Brooklyn, Ohio. Question, this may have already been known to everyone, but I'm not. Regarding the trash containers and the recycling containers, are they coded to our houses? Because tonight I got home and it was blowing all over. I don't know if I have my correct one or not. They are coded?
Yes, they are.
Who do you call to make sure you have the right coding?
I could talk to you after the meeting. I'll get your address for sure, and I'll give you the number that should be there, and we could start from there.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and well for the City of Brooklyn? Okay, we will now move on to reports of committees, commissions, and boards. And tonight we'll start with the Finance Committee. Councilwoman Pucci.
Thank you. Good evening. The Finance Committee met earlier this evening at 6:30, and just as a reminder to the public, these meetings are open to the public. All are welcome. We addressed the following items on our agenda. We voted to recommend that council authorize advertising for bids for both the ADA accessible ramp at City Hall and the 2015 street program. We're making an effort to get these out early. The ADA ramp should be the first project to go out to bid, and then hopefully the streets will be not far behind that. And the reason for that is we're hoping to realize some cost savings while the contractors are looking for work and don't have a lot lined up for the 2015 construction season. Next, Resolution 2014-7, which will be on first reading. This is the contract with the County Board of Health for $43,782 for 2015, and this represents no increase for us. That's what we're paying in 2014. And for us as a small community, this is really a bargain because we're obligated to provide these services, and it would be a lot more expensive if we tried to run our own Board of Health. Next, on second reading, both ordinances 2014-68 and 69, which have to do with repealing the 5% lowered ceiling on salaries for non-union employees within the administration, and we're waiting for a little bit more information from the mayor on that. Ordinance 2014-70, which we recommended passage by emergency measure. This renews our medical insurance coverage with Medical Mutual. There's no change to the plan. However, we did go through a healthcare committee process where several alternatives were offered to the committee members, and Mr. Clausen is going to put together a summary for council so that we can see exactly what was offered. And did you read the amounts or not on the, I don't want to be redundant,
For which thing?
the medical?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And the final one, 2014-71, regarding the lawsuit, we'll be going into executive session to get the information from Mr. Clausen. Once we take action on it, everything is a public record, so if anyone is interested, they're more than welcome to ask. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to give my Safe Routes to School report too. Safe Routes to School Committee met Wednesday morning, November 19th at 7:30 a.m. at Brook Ridge. We had a recap of the walk to school numbers from Walk to School Week at Brook Ridge. Monday there were 58 walkers, Tuesday 67, Wednesday 70, Thursday 90, and Friday 64. The Board of Health staff is going to inventory all of our supplies, and this is in preparation in planning for storage of everything that the committee has in the new buildings. We are working to make the program self-sufficient when outside funding is no longer available. We did discuss the city's Fall Fest and the role that the Safe Routes to School Committee can play in that. One of the ideas is to have a 5K run and a 1-mile family walk. The bike rodeo, we will have all the participants for the Touch-a-Truck confirmed by early February. We are going to be adding a food truck. It's called Fire Truck Pizza, and students will receive tokens earlier in the week at school, so they'll be able to get a slice of pizza. We talked about grant opportunities and the possibility of working with the school's healthcare consultant. And also starting in January, we will start the planning process for the new campus opening, and we will have the packets along with the maps for the Safe Routes to School ready to pass out in August. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Pucci. We'll move on to Recreation Board. Councilman Tansky.
Thank you. Brooklyn Recreation Friday night basketball will be held on Friday nights beginning January 9th, 2015 through February 20th, 2015 in the Brooklyn High School East Gym. This program is open to the residents only, grade 1 through grade 8. Registration will begin December 1st, 2014 through January 9th, 2015 at the John M. Coyne Recreation Center during regular business hours. You must show your current resident identification card at the time of registration. Cost is $35. Session dates, all sessions will be held from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. January 9th, 16th, 23rd, 6th, 13th, and the 20th. Street shoes will not be permitted on the gym floor. Please bring with you a pair of athletic shoes that will only be worn on the gym floor during your scheduled session. If the school is closed due to inclement weather, on the day the program is scheduled, the program will not be held on that day. Session times, Group 1, grades 1, 2, and 3, 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. Group 2, grades 4, 5, and 6, 7 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. Group 3, grades 7 and 8, 8 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. Group times are subject to change based on number of participants. The Brooklyn Recreation Department presents Skate with Santa, Sunday, December 7th, from 2:45 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. at the Recreation Center. Residents and their guests admitted free. You must show your Brooklyn resident identification card to receive resident privileges. Skate rental and non-resident rates in effect. The next Recreation Board meeting will be held on December 15th, 2014 at 7 p.m. in the Mayor's Court. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Tansky. We'll now move on to legislative update. Councilwoman Balbier.
Thank you. This bit of legislation is somewhat interesting to me, and I think it might be interesting to you folks also. House Bill 594, which is sponsored by Representative Jim Buckey, who is a Republican, and Ron Gerbery, who is a Democrat, would prohibit the sale of crystalline alcohol. Crystalline alcohol is a powdered liquor in a pouch that when mixed with water becomes vodka, gin, rum, and other drinks. In fact, this legislation has been put forth even before the product has been approved by the federal government. The product is called Palcohol. Individual states have the responsibility of allowing or prohibiting the product. Alaska and South Carolina have already passed legislation banning it. The sponsors point out that the public health risk of powdered alcohol is too great for their states to ignore. We have to do our part in putting reasonable laws to protect our children from the availability of drug forms that have a high potential for abuse. Powdered alcohol is not a new idea. It's been around since the 70s. A beverage publication once stated alternative uses of Palcohol powder include rum on a barbecued sandwich, Cosmopolitans on a salad, and vodka on eggs in the morning to start your day off right. At this time, it cannot be sold, Representative Gary said. We want to get ahead of the game, even if the FDA approves it. We will not have this sale occurring in the state of Ohio. The product could be easily concealed at school or other events. It can be sprinkled into somebody's food without their knowledge or even snorted. It looks like this product will be banned in Ohio, folks. So you won't be allowed to pour powdered vodka on your eggs in the morning. You'll just have to be happy staying with salt and pepper. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Balbier. We'll move on to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Acting Commissioner Kolsar.
Thank you. The Board of Zoning Appeals, met Thursday, November 20th, to hear a request from Tom O'Neill representing Menard, Inc. for variances for the new Menard's home improvement store located at 7700 Brook Park Road, permanent parcel number 433-19-001. First variance was for maximum accessory structure height of 20 feet, a maximum fence height of 6 feet, variance to a minimum of 1 parking space for each 250 square feet of floor area, a maximum of 2 square feet of signage for each 1 lineal foot of building frontage, maximum of 1 identification sign on each building face, a maximum freestanding sign height of 16 feet, a maximum freestanding sign area of 60 square feet. Those variances were all approved, the last variance being a variance to minimum distance equal to sign height for freestanding sign from the right-of-way was withdrawn by the applicant. Thank you. That concludes my report.
And Mr. Colsar, I'm sorry to say acting commissioner. You're
Thank
actually
you.
the commissioner now. We confirmed you last meeting. I apologize for that. We'll now move on to the Planning Commission. Councilwoman Gallagher.
Thank you, Mr. Van Kirk. On Thursday, December 4th at 6 p.m. in the City Hall Conference Room, the Planning Commission will hear a request from Agile Sign and Lighting Maintenance to install an illuminated LED channel letter wall-mounted sign for business identification of Check and Go located at 4660 Ridge Road. Also, we hear a request from Rough Neon and Lighting Maintenance to install an illuminated LED channel letter wall-mount sign for business identification of North Shore Gastroenterology and Endoscopy Center located at 7580 North Cliff. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Gallagher. Next, we'll have a report from our school board liaison, Councilman Selhertz.
Thank you. On November 18th, the Board of Education held its regular monthly meeting in room 173 at 6 p.m. A number of second grade students did a presentation to the board and attending public about landforms and road maps using PowerPoint in various forms, as well as some 3D homemade displays. Congratulations to Shaylin Bakens. On Friday, November 14th, Shaylin signed her letter of intent to play volleyball at Cornell University. The board recognized and commended a number of students for the fall 2014 PAC athletic selection. There were first team, second team, and honorable mention members. They also recognized the honor roll merit roll for 10-24-14, and also the fall scholar athletes for November of 2014. To be a fall scholar athlete, you had to have a GPA of 3.0 or higher. For other items at the meeting, go to the school's website and go to the Board of Education tab, and then click on Board Docs. The league opener for hockey is Thursday, December 4th. The puck drops at 7:15 p.m. It will be Dollar Dog Night and also Dollar Pretzel Night. It will be at the ice rink at the Recreation Center on Memphis Avenue. The middle high school holiday concert was scheduled for Saturday, December 13th, 2014, starting at 7 p.m. Brooklyn Community Cares Holiday Wishes. Welcome to the Brooklyn Community Care Holiday Wishes. Each family is designated by a number, and you will see how many children, their ages, and if there are food needs. Click on the family if you'd like to see the details about their needs. If a family is designated in red with a line through it, that family has already been taken. To request a family, please send an email to Susie Markey at Suzy, S-U-Z-Y, period, Markey, M-A-R-Q-U-I-S, at brooklyn.k12.oh.us. We will be collecting the donations at Brookridge until December 12th. Please, everything unwrapped. You may include wrapping paper if you wish. If you have any questions, you can give her a call at 216-485-8191, extension 8323. Also, there's the fall and winter hockey and wrestling schedules are out and available on the website. Next board meeting is Tuesday, December 16, 2014, in room 173 at the high school. Public is welcome and encouraged to attend. It is your school system for your children. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Selhertz. We'll now move on with the reports of council, and this evening we'll begin with Mr. DeMarco.
I would just like to thank Mr. Verba and all the folks down at the Service Department. I've had an issue back on the turn by Westbrook Drive and Rabbit Run for some time now that many residents have been complaining about. And I know you had a busy summer, but you guys got to it, and I've gotten a lot of compliments from the residents back in that area, so I very much appreciate that. And I'd like to wish all of the residents a happy Thanksgiving, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. DeMarco. I also want to thank Mr. Verba and the Service Garage for being prepared for the snow that came unexpectedly. You guys did a fantastic job getting those things cleaned up, and driving in some other cities, they weren't as blessed and fortunate as we were, so I want to thank you with that. Also, I want to let residents know, I know that City Hall has been getting inundated with phone calls for leaf pickup, And speaking with Mr. Verba, they are getting to it as quickly as they can. 6 inches of snow and 50-mile-an-hour winds make it a little bit difficult for picking up those leaves. So please be patient. They are working around the clock to get that done. So please just be patient with that. I also want to thank Mr. Selhertz for his work with our city engineer. I just read a list of streets that will be getting ready to go out to bid for 2015, and this is the earliest that we've had this done since I've been on council in the brief time I've been here. So it looks like we'll be able to start the construction in the springtime to get these streets done as opposed to waiting until the fall. And so I want to thank Mr. Selhertz for his work on that and helping Mr. Courtney get those done. And I also wanted to mention Thanksgiving. Obviously, Thanksgiving has a history in this country going all the way back to the 1600s, and it was first declared a national holiday by President Lincoln in 1863 in the middle of the Civil War. And I won't take the time to read his proclamation. I would encourage you to do that. But basically, in one of the darkest times of our country's history, Mr. Lincoln saw fit to remember to be thankful for what we have in this nation. And certainly, it's a great day for food, for fun, and for fellowship. But let's not forget why it's called Thanksgiving. You know, in the busyness of stuffing turkeys and watching football and clipping coupons for Black Friday, make sure we take some time to spend with friends and families to stop and be truly thankful for what God's given to us in this city and in our nation. For my family to yours, I also want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Next, we'll hear from Mrs. Pucci.
Thank you. Good evening. First, I would like to congratulate Shaylin Balkins on her accomplishment of getting into Cornell. And just for information, she is the daughter of one of our service department employees and also the granddaughter of our retired senior center coordinator, Mrs. Kay Hudke. So congratulations, Shaylin. On November 13th, I attended a NOCA forum, that's Northeast Ohio City Council Association, and the presentation was on youth engagement in local government, and there was a presentation from adults and students who are involved in the Hawthorne Valley Youth Group, and this was created 4 years ago, and it covers the communities in the Bedford School District, which are Oakwood, Bedford, Bedford Heights, and Walton Hills. The youth are instructed on how government works at the local, state, and federal levels, and the youth are actually able to write their own legislation to submit to the Ohio legislature. They also participate in local community service events. The theme for this particular group is stepping up and giving back. It was really an impressive group of young people and quite a unique program. I would like to see if there's interest in our community for youth to start a group like that in Brooklyn. And Mr. Colzar, could you just review the details on the sign variances for Menards? So the main sign on Brook Park Road, they were asking for quite a large variance. What was the result of that?
That one was withdrawn.
Okay. And there was another variance for the
Variance
signage?
For the signs, it was for one, maximum of one identification sign on each building face.
I'm talking about the freestanding.
For the
What about the one
freestanding
for
signs.
480?
That was limited to 80-foot maximum height,
Okay.
same location, and
But the one on Brook Park Road will comply with our new sign regulations?
they're gonna propose something alternate than the pole sign.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And on behalf of myself and my family, I'd like to wish the mayor, the administrators, and all our employees and their families and our residents a very happy Thanksgiving. And I'd also like to express my gratitude for all of the employees of the city who do a great job for our residents all year round. I just want them to know that I do appreciate their efforts. And that completes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Pucci. Mrs. Belbier?
Thank you. This past weekend, students gathered from Brooklyn Public School, St. Thomas More Grade School, Parma High School, Magnificat High School. All of them gathered at the Senior Center to help assemble Thanksgiving baskets that were to be delivered to the needy. The kids were so excited and did a great job sorting out the food, checking expiration dates, and filling up Thanksgiving baskets. I had a great opportunity to work with some of the children, and I'd like to thank a couple kids that helped me out. 2 young boys from Brooklyn, their names were Seth and Thomas. They were working so hard filling up those baskets, and there was a young lady by the name of Rachel and William. All did such a wonderful job, and they themselves felt a sense of community and service and giving back to the needy. So it was a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, actually early morning for all. 2 weeks ago, the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce held a get-together at Ridge Park Party Center. They presented a PowerPoint presentation of all their activities, everything that they do to give back into the community. They mentioned that they host the Taste of Brooklyn in February and that it's a fundraiser that benefits Brooklyn school children with scholarships. They also host monthly luncheons that enable members to network together and keep businesses in tune with what's going on in their community. Also, during the presentation, we were all able to meet the new manager of Ridge Park Party Center. We were introduced to Joe Gallo. Mr. Gallo informed us of the many renovations that will be taking place at the Party Center. Being the new manager, he has come up with some wonderful ideas as far as updating the front of the building, updating the kitchen with more walk-in and freezer space so they're able to accommodate larger parties. He also mentioned that the business this past year had been real sluggish at the Party Center, but that they were hoping with the new improvements that they would be able to acquire more business. Just a note, the Party Center will be open for Thanksgiving Day. They'll be having a Thanksgiving Day buffet. If you don't feel like cooking, please try them out. The Brooklyn Historical Society is having their annual Christmas brunch on Sunday, December 7th. If anyone is interested, please call Barb Stepik for reservations at 216-941-0160. Also, the Christmas gift shop will be opened after the brunch from 2 to 4. Weather permitting, the shop will be opened on Tuesdays in December from 10 to 1:30. They will close on December 23rd. They have some great things that the ladies there make for the gift shop, and I know you'd enjoy it just going there, looking at all the stuff there, and some of them are even great stocking stuffers, and I know the ladies would appreciate, buying from them, so please keep it in mind. There are many churches now that are serving the Thanksgiving Day dinners for those in need. One church in particular is St. Augustine's Church in Tremont on West 14th Street. It's across from historic Lincoln Park. They will be serving over 10,000 dinners. If anyone is in need, you can always call the rectory at St. Augustine's. It's 216-781-5881. They also deliver to those who are homebound. Also, if you'd like to volunteer and help out, they always welcome volunteers and anyone that's willing to help out. Father Joe McNulty and Sister Corita have been in charge for many, many years, and they truly are saints among us. Lastly, I would like to wish everyone a heartfelt happy Thanksgiving. It is one of my favorite holidays. I always like to take a minute and reflect about all I have to be thankful for and to count my blessings. I am truly thankful for all my friends and family and all the wonderful people here in Brooklyn, and for being able to live in the greatest nation in the world. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Balbier. Mr. Tansky?
Thank you. I just have a couple things. One of them to Chief Melky. If you can give us an update on the synchronization on Ridge Road from Bidoff to North Cliff on the traffic lights.
They're still working on it. They're working on a final synchronization. So the county, along with their engineer, are going to come up with something that tries to maximize the traffic flow from Bidoff down to 480. So.
Okay, I appreciate it because I've gotten numerous calls on the traffic lights. Into Mr. Verba, the one that puts up with me most of the time when I'm calling him all the time, driving him nuts. The landscaping.
That is correct.
The landscaping on Ridge Road, can you give us an update on when they're going to come out, what they're going to do, and the seeding and the leveling of some of the yards that they dug into?
Yeah, that's just a temporary seeding. It's obviously not going to grow because I just planted it like the day before the snowfall. So everything, they will come back out in the spring, probably looking at April. I don't have an exact date. All I have is the spring. They'll do all the landscaping again. They'll have a punch list, and they also will do the permanent striping as well.
Okay, I appreciate it. And again, thanks, John. I appreciate anytime I call you, you get back to me. I get dozens of calls during the last couple of months on Ridge Road, so I appreciate it. You know, you always have my support. I know there's staff problems this week because of the garbage and the leaves, but you always have my support on any additional staff you need in that service department. I don't know where council sits on that, but you know, I've told you in the past, you always have my support on that.
Thank you.
And I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Tansky. Mr. Selhertz?
Thank you. Congratulations to the Brooklyn Youth Football Program for becoming state champions in the U10 category. They played over November 15th and 16th at Strobel Field, Cedar Point Stadium in Avon, Ohio. The Brooklyn Fire Department is holding a spaghetti dinner benefit for Andrew Starr and family on December 12th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Cost is $6 for adults, $4 for seniors 60 and up, and $2 for 6 and under. All proceeds go to the Starr family. Andrew Starr is a 6-year-old Brooklyn resident currently battling cancer. This fundraiser is to offset medical costs. If you cannot attend, donations can be dropped off at the Brooklyn Fire Department. And for me, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Selhertz. Mrs. Gallagher?
Thank you, Mr. Van Kirk. I'd first like to congratulate the Westbrook Apartments and Ridge Park Square, who were named Businesses of the Year by the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. Both organizations donate and give back to the community all throughout the year, and they are loyal supporters to the Chamber. Last week, I went to my first City Council Association meeting. Kathy already spoke about this, but I'd like to add a couple things. I think it's important that we teach our children and teenagers how government impacts all of our lives. And the voting's down, and I think this is an important thing that we need to push in our community. With that being said, I'd like to thank Judge Cassandra Collier-Williams for coming to the Brooklyn schools last Friday to hold an actual court hearing for the 7th graders. This live courtroom experience is a part of a series of on-site court experiences that the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas has hosted all throughout our community for children to understand how our court system works. I think it's truly an amazing idea by the court and presiding Judge John Russo, and I hope that these type of community outreach experiences continue to happen. I don't think anyone mentioned the holiday gathering, but I'd like to remind everybody on Sunday, December 7th, the holiday gathering will be from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Senior Community Center. There will be pictures with Santa for Brooklyn residents and crafts for the children. Hot chocolate and cookies will be provided. The music schedule includes Brooklyn Show Choir, the elementary 3rd graders, and the Brooklyn High School Concert Band. Also, I'd like to remind people that the Holiday House Decorating Contest will be held the week of December 8th. The 3 winners will be announced at the December 22nd council meeting. And lastly, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mrs. Gallagher. Next, we'll move on to the mayor's report. Mayor?
Thank you. As we've talked about tonight, the Ridge Road is finally open, which I know we've all noticed. And like Mr. Verba said, they'll be back in the spring to do odds and ends and replant tree lawns. And it looks like Ridge Park Square is back to normal looking at their parking lot the last couple days. I also would like to thank for all the donations for the Thanksgiving baskets, especially St. Thomas More, which raised the bulk of it. The food will be given out tomorrow. I would also like to thank all the volunteers who helped put the baskets together. And I'd especially like to thank my secretary, Jill, who coordinated everything. And also, I'd like to thank the Triad Engineering Company. They're down on Clinton Road. They donated $500 to buy the turkeys, so I'd like to thank them. Everyone should have received their recycling bin by now, but if you haven't, just call City Hall and we'll deliver one to you. Your old yellow recycling bin is yours to do with as you please. You can use it or throw it out. Last week, myself, Parma, and Parma Heights visited the Chief of Staff, Mr. Fitzgerald's Chief of Staff, down at the county building, presenting our case for our grant that we need for our dispatch center. We explained all of our positive points and why we need it. And then when we were done talking there, we went down the floor and we talked to the transition team of Mr. Budish and explained our whole case again. So supposedly, they're going to make a decision on the grant and the amount, and we should know that by the end of December. Tonight on the agenda, I'm asking for the confirmation appointment to the Zoning Board of Appeals of Mr. Greg Farkas. He's a Brooklyn resident. He graduated from the Brooklyn High School, and he owns a small business. And I think he would make an excellent contribution to the Zoning Board of Appeals. We applied for a grant to get LED lights for all the city property, and we were turned down. We found that out this afternoon, so we'll reapply, maybe not for that, but for something else as soon as we're able to, but we did not get the grant. And I also want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. That's also my favorite holiday. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll now move on to director's reports. We only have one this evening, and Rec Manager McGinty.
Good evening.
I'm sorry. You can be the council person.
Good evening. I just wanted to let you know the John M. Coyne Recreation Center will be closed on Thanksgiving, but we will be open on Friday, November 28th, regular business hours. And I also wanted to let you know we are offering the dollar hot dog and dollar pretzel night for the Brooklyn High School home opener hockey game, December 4th at 7:15 p.m. And we'd like to see your support for the Hurricanes. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. McGinty. We'll now move on with legislation for this evening. The first thing on the agenda is a liquor permit renewal for Sheets.
May I be recognized?
Yes, ma'am.
Chief Milky, any objections?
None
No
whatsoever.
problems?
Nope.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we take a position of no objection.
Second.
For a position of no objection, Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Abstain.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Next, we have a confirmation of appointment for Mr. Craig Farkas to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Move to approve Mr. Craig Farkas to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
Second.
To confirm the appointment, Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Next, we have a request to advertise for bids for the replacement of the ADA accessible ramp at City Hall and also for the 2015 street programs.
Motion to approve.
Second.
For the ADA.
Should we take them separately?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
We'll do the ADA ramps first. I apologize.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
To advertise for bids for the ADA ramp, Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Next, we have a request to advertise for bids for the 2015 streets program.
Motion to approve.
Second?
To advertise for bids for the streets, Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 2014-7, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the District Board of Health of Cuyahoga County for health services for the year 2015. It's for the amount of $43,782, and this will be on first reading. Next, we have Ordinance 2014-68, repealing Section 1 of Ordinance 2012-6 amended, relating to compensation for full-time and administrative employees non-bargaining, and this is on second reading. Ordinance 2014-69, repealing Section 1 of Ordinance 2012-22, relating to compensation for the part-time position of Economic Development Director, and this is also on second reading. Next, we have Ordinance 2014-70, and this is accepting the medical insurance renewal for Medical Mutual of Ohio, providing medical insurance coverage for city employees from December 1st, 2014 to November 30th, 2015.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
To adopt, Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
And we passed this by emergency because it goes into effect December 1st, so we needed to pass this before our next meeting. Last ordinance we have on here is ordinance 2014-71, and we're going to go into executive session to discuss this ordinance. So does anyone else have anything to say before we call for executive order? All right, we're going to go into executive session to discuss the union wage reopener and also other legal matters. And Mary, I believe you want yourself, counsel, law director?
And the law director, that's all.
So moved.
Second.
To adjourn to executive session, Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tell them that you.